Wando, welcome to this week's episode of Spooky Tribe Talk. I'm Salome Stork.
And I'm Christian Crone. This week we'll be looking at Wando's nationally acclaimed marching band, Mr. Brasini's impact outside of school,
the new traffic patterns on Coleman Boulevard, and how Ashland Wells has made an impact on third world countries.
Every year, Wando's marching band works hard to achieve excellence at regional competitions.
Mr. Lambert has directed the marching band to first place. Ethan Bain has the story.
Wando Marching Band is famous for several state championships, but recently they have achieved an even larger milestone. After winning their regional competition, band directors and students talk about their intense training and how they're celebrating their recent victory.
We started preparing for this all the way back in March. Just like a sports team would do, we had what we call spring training, where just one day every other week we would come together and start the physical demand, the physical activity that we need. And then starting the second week in August, we started doing what we call everydays. So about 10 to 12 hours a day for multiple days, putting a show on the field, refining our skills, and just making everything go.
We work extremely hard. You know, to be great, we have to practice great.
We practice about 4 days a week, including a Saturday practice that can be anywhere from 8 to 13 hours.
And then we went Monday and we had a 3-hour rehearsal, and then Tuesday we had a 3-hour rehearsal, and Thursday a 2.5-hour rehearsal. And tomorrow we're looking to have a rehearsal from 8 in the morning till 5:30. So that's kind of like a typical week, but no matter what, we're always working hard.
Aside from the rigorous training for the competition, the marching band is celebrating their big win, and its members are looking forward to future possibilities.
The competition that the band recently won was the Bands of America Regional Championship in Gaffney, South Carolina.
There's different people from all around the Southeast that came out to this, and we competed in prelims, and then we went to finals, and we ended up winning the entire competition, the first time in Wando history that we won a full regional.
When you enter, there are 25 bands that are there from about 4 different states. From that 25, a smaller field of 10 is selected, and then a winner is decided from that.
This is looking like the best show we've ever had. This is a special show for us, and we can take this all the way to Grand Nationals and do amazing things with it.
To have a first, especially a big one like winning a regional championship, that's something that you don't ever forget. Hopefully it's a first of many coming down the road for us. So I think now we're in an interesting place of where we know we even have further distances to go. And while this was a great milestone, it's not a stopping point.
This has been Ethan Bain reporting for Tribe Talk.
Boone Hall puts on a number of popular events every year. However, the most popular event among kids and teenagers is definitely their Halloween production of Fright Night. Not only do people love going to Fright Night, but people also choose to work the production the month that it's open. We talked to a few of the many Wando students that contribute to this spooky experience.
I've always been an actor, so I just love acting, and scaring people is one of my favorite things to do.
What made me want to work at Fright Night was I've always been interested in odd jobs, and I've always wanted to act, but my family never really approved of me acting. But for some reason, they allowed me to do this, and it's really just been an amazing opportunity.
I heard about Fright Night last year through a few friends, and I wanted to get involved because it was something that was completely out of my comfort zone on what I've done acting-wise. But it also seemed like a fun job that I could do with friends that paid well.
Whenever I get there, I have to go sign in and then go straight to makeup. Once my makeup's done, then we just hang out, and we have the green room where we play music and listen and don't worry about any of the stress that's going on in the day. And then what really clicks for me is whenever I get the blood thrown on me, I'm like, it's go time. So I'm in the mood, I'm ready to get in people's faces and everything like that.
I start out at home, I get my costume, put it on, and then I'll get in my car, head over. They'll do airbrush and makeup on me, and then they'll make sure the blood on my outfit is fresh and ready to go, and then we all have a meeting, and then we'll all go out and just get ready to scare people in our spots.
So Thursday and Sundays, you will only get $40, but you only work 5:30 to 10 o'clock. And then on Friday, Saturday, you get $60, and you only work 5:30 to midnight.
You're getting paid to scare people. It's probably the most fun job in the world.
You have the best laughs ever from just the scares that you get, and you get to try out new roles here and there, so it's not like you're stuck to the same thing.
But also when you scare people, seeing other people's reactions is absolutely hilarious.
The risk at working there is when you scare people, you have to know how to judge people, if they're going to hit you, if they're not. People come in thinking they can just get their anger out, and they will release that on you.
But when you actually end up getting really hurt, it's usually on purpose from customers just wanting to hit you because that's what they feel like doing.
But you have to sign a contract saying, like, you're going to be willing to do this. It's a lot of fun. It's not for everyone, but if you do come and want to work, I definitely recommend knowing that it's a real job and it comes with serious pain, it comes with serious fun, but at the end of the day, you got to have the stamina and you got to be willing to do it.
This has been Ellie Grace Goodwin reporting for Tribe Talk.
Outside of his AP Human Geography class, Mr. Bersini dedicates his time to educating those who cannot afford AP classes.
Mr. Bersini is a favorite among students because of his dedication to teach history. Avery Cottingham reports on his work inside the community.
Wando is home to over 30 AP classes and many opportunities for students. However, many schools in the district do not have access to these classes. Wando's own Mr. Bersini is going out of his way to fix this situation.
So I wear a couple different hats here. I'm Social Studies Department Chair, which means I'm the lead teacher for Social Studies. I also run the AP Academy with Miss Leclerc. It acts as an honors college to make sure all of our AP students have support they need. But I'm always a teacher first, so anything my students need, that's number one priority. So Charleston County School District just started a pilot this year. We've been planning it this past summer, where we wanted to make sure that it was equity across the district. So it doesn't matter what school that students are in, they all have equal access to classes, especially AP classes and upper level classes. So what we've done is we've taken St. John's High School and Baptist Hill High School, and they had students that were really interested in taking AP Human Geography at those schools, but they didn't have a teacher. So that's where I come in. So early, from 7:30 to 8:15 every day, I teach AP Human Geography. I just teach it virtually. So my students see me on a big screen, a Promethean board at each of the schools, and then I have my computer screen. Actually, I have two computer screens in front of me, so I can see each one of them individually with their Chromebooks, and I have one big camera in each school where I can see the entire group as well. And I teach AP Human Geography the same exact way I teach it here at Wando. I just teach it virtually.
I'm LaShawna Rivers, and I'm the online learning coordinator for the district. This is the direction that education is really going into, becoming more of an online platform. We're hoping that this department will expand and grow, especially the distance learning piece, so that courses that are not offered in a particular school can be offered, because we do have teachers throughout the district that can teach those courses.
If you look at socioeconomic levels, usually schools that are in poor areas don't offer as many classes as schools in more affluent areas. So I feel like there's a really big problem with that, because we have people that are smart all over the country, all over Charleston County. So we want to make sure that those students have the same exact opportunity as everybody else. We're kind of doing a disservice if they don't. So technology makes it so much easier to offer this, because even if it was 10, 15 years ago, this wasn't even a thought. So that's kind of cool that we can take one of the big advantages we have here at Wando and help spread that everywhere else. So I think it's just awareness in kind of knowing what we have and then trying to spread that wealth everywhere else.
This has been Avery Cottingham reporting for Tribe Talk.
What's up, Comets?
I'm Chad.
And I'm Will.
Welcome to CTV News on this Friday, October 19th, 2018.
CTV News is Cariel's morning television show that
informs, entertains, and connects everybody into the school.
My name is Miss Hurt, and I would like to say CTV News at Cario is amazing. Mr. Lang and all his students do a great job, and I am never allowed to go without showing the news because my students, trust me, they'll remind me because they enjoy it so much, and it keeps us in the loop about everything going on in the school.
First of all, I hope you're having a good day today. Let me get a quick picture on this week. Okay, so what I need is I need you to just be down by the basketball court or by the hoop. The other thing is I need a little promo for Red Ribbon Week.
The show includes a bunch of news items, daily announcements, things that's going on, in a school of our size, about 1,200 students. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and we have, like 70 teachers and clubs all over the place and sporting events and things.
Hey guys, Connor here for another episode of Lost and Found. Let's go.
Well, that's it for today. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Powder Puff is one of our most celebrated traditions at Wando, and sign-ups for grade levels are coming up fast. Student Council has already held the interest meetings, but if you are still interested in playing, come talk to Miss Gamage in F209. Sign-up dates are from November 5th to November 13th. Be sure you know which day your grade level is set to register. The game is November 29th at the new Wando Stadium, with practices occurring on the 26th through the 28th. Kickoff is at 5 p.m. All games are 10 minutes long. Come cheer on your friends, and admission is $5. Get ready for the best event of the season. The talent show is November 8th at 7 p.m. in the PAC. This year is sure to be the best show yet. Come see your talented classmates as they perform. We have a variety of acts, from singers, dancers, musicians, and much more. Admission is $5.
I work in a place where I am with people that are dying, or I'm with them when they actually do die. And most of those deaths are very peaceful and spiritual, and there's something pretty profound about it. But there was this one time that I'll kind of carry forever, because I believe after this that as much as there are good spirits and souls, there's also evil, and they're just as real. So I went to go visit somebody that I didn't know very well. She was laying on her side in the bed, and her eyes were closed. And so I walked kind of closer to the bed and saw a chair and pulled it up. Just like I do for everybody else, I was going to sit nice and close to be able to hold her hand and pray or sing or do something. And as soon as I sat down, her eyes being shut popped open, and they locked on mine. And they didn't move, and they didn't blink. And it was at that time I got cold, and I got scared, kind of bared down and closed my eyes and started praying silently that any spirits that were in this room, I want good spirits around me, protecting me, because there was such a sense of evil and bad around me. It almost felt like there was something happening behind me, like things shifting very quickly. I was paralyzed. I mean, I literally, my hands weren't able to, nothing was moving on me. And the only thing that I could do was open my eyes, which I eventually did. And when I opened my eyes again, she was still staring at me. And all of a sudden her mouth started opening very slowly, and her tongue came out of her mouth very slowly. It was almost like a snake kind of movement, very fast and very quick. It represented to me something very evil, something very wrong. It was nothing in the course of 11 years that I've done my work that I do with dying people that I've ever seen. And so I closed my eyes again and I started praying very silently, and I again was just hoping that this woman didn't sit up and try to touch me or that I would see something else. But the door opened and I heard the voice of one of the workers that I knew that worked at the facility. And it was almost like I was able to catapult. I just kind of leapt from the chair and finally was able to move and get out. And I never went back in the room again. But it's something I'll always remember.
Trafficked road here in Mount Pleasant, Coleman Boulevard, has been under construction since the beginning of 2017.
What will Coleman Boulevard soon have to offer, and how much longer will the community accept these new traffic patterns?
Amelia Walker walks us through the scene.
Coleman Boulevard is one of Mount Pleasant's most popular areas, crowded with tourists, historical landmarks, and countless small businesses. The ongoing construction in the area has temporarily inconvenienced a large amount of people. We decided to take a look into the causes of this new infrastructure project, as well as the effects that it's having on the Low Country.
Construction started in September of 2017, and we anticipate it being completed by December of 2019. The main reasons for construction on Coleman Boulevard is that for many years our elected body and our planners have had a vision for Coleman Boulevard that creates more of a Main Street type feel. And what you will see when we're done is a new cross section and improved stormwater drainage. We have storm pipes that go on both sides of Coleman for about 2 miles worth of drainage, and it all goes out to Shem Creek down by the boat landing.
I think it's a little unnecessary, but at the same time, Mount Pleasant needs to sustain all the tourists that are coming in by large numbers each year.
It can be an issue sometimes trying to get out of here just because you don't know which direction you can come and go. It's always been pretty safe that if I exit the parking lot on the left, that I'm good, but I would say even still it's been minor inconvenience.
Near Smoke Barbecue, next to like all that construction near Wild Wings. It's way harder to get in the evening because traffic is completely backed up. I've almost gotten in several car crashes because there's one where the lane kind of swerves in the intersection and some cars will just go straight through, and I almost just got like T-boned from the side like quite a few times.
They're widening the road a bit, specifically over near Page's Oak Grove. When you try to come down Coleman Boulevard in the mornings, that area can get very chaotic with people trying to make the left, and I've personally witnessed 3 accidents in that area.
So the traffic controls have been a little bit challenging for some folks, but going forward in the future, I think it will benefit everybody. It will increase traffic capacity on Coleman Boulevard. So it will benefit the public by creating additional modes of transportation.
This has been Amelia Walker reporting for Tribe Talk.
I'm an amateur beekeeper. Still lowly in the ranks of knowing what I'm doing, but learning every day. And I got into it because I was really interested in homesteading and sustainability, producing your own food. And the more you read about gardening or growing anything really, that bees are the huge influencer. They can fly up to 3 miles in any direction, so almost all of James Island as a whole could potentially benefit from just this one hive that I have. The type of bees that I have is a European honeybee, and on average it can be 30 to 50,000 in a hive that size. I think everyone should beekeep. Unless you're allergic, please don't be a beekeeper if you're allergic to bees. But I think it's an easy hobby to have. It's really amazing to watch this colony, this kind of a superorganism, build these perfectly, hexagonal cells, all the same size. They all follow this mission of the queen. They're highly industrious. If left to their own devices, not a lot will kill them. A well-established hive could net you about $1,000 a year in honey sales if you were consistent with it and actually wanted to sell it. Anytime you see a swarm of bees, a cluster like a basketball-sized swarm of bees anywhere, don't just spray them with Raid. They're really docile at that point. They're scared, they have no home, they send out scouts to go find a good place to live. Leave them for a little bit and they're most likely going to go away, or call a beekeeper, because a swarm of bees, or if you buy bees from a beekeeper, it's about $100. A friend of mine I said, Josh, you gotta come over. There's a swarm in my front yard. Sure. So we go take a hive, hold it underneath the swarm of bees, and we shake the tree branch, and about 15,000 bees fall with a thud in the hive, and then we cap it, and that's what those are. I was terrified of bees. A friend of mine, we're walking along a dried riverbank when I was about 8, and we stepped on a nest of mud wasps, and we both got stung horribly. And ever since then, I was that person that if an insect flew by, I'd duck and, you know, run away. And I hated having that crippling fear at any sort of social function. So, what's the best way to get cool with them is to let them sting you a few times and have 30,000 flying around you at any given moment, like this one here.
Wando student Ashton Wells has spent her teenage life making an impact in broader communities, rather than just limiting herself to the Charleston area.
Ashton has traveled to Haiti and Togo to not only build for, but also love and nourish the underprivileged.
I first heard about my missions trip because every single summer, Seacoast has like 6 or 7 missions trips that are available to go on. And so there was this earthquake about a couple years back that I remember devastating this country, and just how much medical need they needed and how little hope that the people had. And so that was when I first decided to go to the country of Haiti. I remember every single morning when the van came into the village that these kids would just rush to the back of the van and alongside the van and would just run alongside of us, singing songs and clapping their hands and waving at us just as a symbol of welcoming us into the community and telling us that we were expected there and that they were excited for us. We visited a village about 3 or 4 hours away from the capital, Port-au-Prince, and that they had been told their whole lives that they were outcasts and excluded and bottom of the totem pole because they were so poor, and so they desperately needed medical attention because of the earthquake that had been so devastating. And so the fact that we came and we built just a building, a medical clinic for them with no doctors and no nurses, they were just overwhelmed with joy that someone even noticed them and said that they were seen and they were loved and that they mattered. I saw the faces of the men and the women and the babies, and I saw that they were working their entire lives to get basic resources like food and water and education that I have so affluently here. And so that just changed my whole perspective of, yes, I have these resources, don't feel bad about them, but use them to help the other humans around the world get the resources they need and bring hope to them when they've lost all hope. And that passion for serving, I hope, goes even farther because in college I plan on studying biomedical science with an emphasis in global studies to learn how to better bring these resources to these people and to let them know that they're seen and that we know them and we know that they're not getting these resources that they need, and to bring those resources to them and to change that factor in their lives.
Finn Webb is a senior who takes the average shoe and turns it into an amazing piece of artwork.
Well, I've been drawing for pretty much my entire life, but I started to develop a unique style about the time when I got into high school. It was like my first or second year of high school, and a lot of my friends really liked it, and they were like, dude, you should totally draw that on some shoes. I bought a pair of Vans for myself, all white, and I just started drawing on them, and it kind of took off from there. Honestly, like at this point, it kind of just comes to me. Like most of the time I don't do any prior planning, and I pretty much just put my pen to paper or to the shoe, and it kind of just flows. I like to listen to some good music while I do it and get into a creative state. I break out one shoe and I get out a black pen and I start coloring that bad boy, and I get all the black and white done, so I get what I'm going to color in. I go ahead and put that all on the paper or the shoe, and after that I bust out the colored markers and I just color it all in, and put the shoelaces back in. I spray it with a sealant that seals it so the ink won't run off. Every pair is completely unique. Like there's no pair that's the same. They're all super colorful, like abstract art, or psychedelic art.
Finn Webb takes business commissions on his Instagram. He charges $100 for the art on low tops and $120 for the art on high tops.
Most people who wanted to get a pair of shoes or buy some art, they would contact me on Instagram at FinnWebbArt. I really plan on making art my full-time career. That's what I'd be most happy doing, and I'm really just going to put in all the effort I can to make my dream come true.
This is Nick Tilden reporting for Tribe Talk.
Thanks for watching, Wando.
Be sure to follow us on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram at Tribe Talk WHS.
And stay tuned for this month's segment of Tribe Talk Presents. But most importantly, have a fun, safe, and spooky Halloween.
This has been Christian Crone
and Salome Stork
signing off.
I'm Alexis Perry and I'm a singer-songwriter. It's an outlet for my emotions, for all the stress that I have, for all the good things too. It's a good way to put into words what I might be feeling or what might be in the very back of my mind, because sometimes when I write, it tells me something I didn't even know I was thinking.
Hate being alone, thoughts written on the wall, a list of all of my thoughts, screaming down at me, insecurities.
If you have some form of art, even if you don't think it's good, someone else could find inspiration in it and find beauty in it. It holds some kind of meaning, and it should be shared with people. You should always share art. It's not for you, it's